See this? It's so incredible. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
This over and 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 over again, cutting the budget, not testing the fire hydrants, blocking the water, draining the reservoir there just to fight fire, right before the main fire season in high wind. Who drains the firefighting reservoir with 177 million gallons of water in it or 117 million gallons a month before the fire season? Who doesn't? Who cancels testing the fire hydrants a month before fire season? Who blocks the other reservoirs from delivering water? Who cuts the funding to cut the brush at the state, local, and federal level? Hell, the feds gave orders not to across the state. And they got land all over the place. This is deliberate. They checked. In fact, it's the opposite of incompetence. They did a hell of a job making sure they could burn out some of the most expensive real estate in the world that a bunch of working class people lived on.
Hey, look, just real quick, for all of you in California dealing with these wildfires, I want you to know that without a doubt, 100%, this is the fault of the Democrats you elected. Because there are 4 actions taken by the Democrats that are directly responsible for why you're enduring this wildfire. The first being your state stopped clearing the brush. They didn't want to spend state money anymore on maintaining and clearing the brush that starts these wildfires, and they figured they would save money by not doing it, and then after the wildfire, they would get federal funding to take care of all the emergency stuff. They have just decided that it's cheaper on the state to not prevent them from happening, and after they happen, use federal FEMA funds to take care of it. Reason number 2 why you're enduring these wildfires is your mayor in LA decided to cut firefighter funding by $17.5 million. Now, it's less than what she wanted to cut. She wanted to cut $23 million. But yeah, she cut $17.5. Oh, and she took that money plus an additional $4 million and spent it on taking care of illegal immigrants. See, the mayor of LA decided to spend $21.8 million taking care of those people. And she was able to get most of that money from the fire department. Lastly, our government has taken money from fire departments all throughout the United States and spent them fully equipping and fully funding 16 Ukrainian fire departments. Those fire departments have reported to international media that they are fully equipped and ready for any emergency. So if you're wondering why you're dealing with these wildfires, it's because your fucking state stopped clearing the brush, your mayor in LA cut $17.5 million of your funding and spent all that money on illegal immigrants, and all around the country we've taken money from fire departments to make sure Ukraine is fully equipped for any emergency. Except for those of you in California, you re-elected the Democrats, so enjoy that.
I'm really tired of everyone blaming these fires and all natural disasters on climate change. Okay, the climate has been changing since the beginning of time. There used to be places on this earth that were completely covered by water that no longer are. There were places on this earth that were covered by glaciers that are no longer frozen. The climate has been changing since the beginning of time. Okay, before man started drilling for oil, before cows started farting and everyone blamed it on them. Okay, this, I guarantee, this fire was not a result of climate change. And I'm asking the voters, especially in California, who usually vote for Democrats, don't let them just use this as an excuse, just saying climate change. Every time something happens, a natural disaster happens, climate change was not responsible for cutting the budget of firefighters in California. Okay, climate change was not responsible for not having fire hydrants filled with water. That's not a result of climate change. That's a result of piss poor leadership, Democrat leadership. Remember this next time you vote. Okay, I don't want to criticize anyone. This is a horrible, horrible situation, and I am so sorry for anyone of any party who is going through this. But stop letting them get away. Every time something bad happens, they can blame it on climate change, and y'all just let it slide. Stop.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly
Give me an
you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type
I
of
almost never
ideological
talk about.
thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways, a lot
I
of
don't
people
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like who?
I don't know who. But
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there. But anyways,
Some
the
people
point
say.
of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
What are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a
Okay.
page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms
that.
of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
I'm not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question
Okay,
is.
then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
Okay.
Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
President-elect or a president to be
Is it
criticizing.
appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would go you would have him nailed to the wall for what they're doing over there. And I know we've dealt with it. We just assume in Florida, anytime something happens, it's going to be politicized by the media. So you guys sitting in judgment of Donald Trump, I mean, excuse me, I think your track record of politicizing these things is very, very bad.
Okay, last question. Newsom should resign and that the wildfires are all his fault. So do you agree with those comments?
I remember when we had the Surfside Tower collapse, I had people from the Washington Post trying to blame me for it immediately without having any facts or anything. Oh, he didn't declare a state of emergency. First of all, a state of emergency doesn't mean you can't respond. It's all that. Excuse me?
Biden did it. I think that's what you said.
Well, but what I'm telling you is you guys are trying to make an issue of it when I have watched from this seat. In fact, when I got elected governor, I was meeting with some of the other Republican governors, and what they would say is, hey, if you have a natural disaster, just know media's coming at you, they're going to do it. It's not the same. That mayor of LA, if that were a Republican mayor, I could only imagine what that would do. I mean, you know the fires are at high risk and you try to go to Africa or wherever she was to go on some type of voyage. You should have been there preparing and doing that, and yet I don't see a lot of heat being directed in that thing. And so, you know, I'd like to see some balance on how this is done. You could criticize the president-elect, but I think you also have to hold these other people accountable, and I have not seen that.